Yes, so welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to see Nietzsche. Nietzsche, not all of Nietzsche, but Nietzsche as relevant to postmodernism. Nietzsche is is much bigger story. Nietzsche is much bigger picture than to summarize in three or four concepts, right? Nietzsche is the whole subject in itself, uh, but to the relevance of political science, we are going to understand Nietzsche, the German philosopher, the great German philosopher, right? Nietzsche is rightly called as father of postmodernism. Father of postmodernism. Why father of postmodernism? We understood what is postmodernism, right? We understood what is postmodernism, which is a rejection of ideas which were modern, that is rationality and science and everything related to that, right? Then why would Nietzsche be called as father of postmodernism? Because he was the first person to to give this idea of rejection of rationality through his idea of God is dead, through his quote of God is dead. We are going to understand all these things, right? But in relevance to political science, we are going to understand his first concept, which is will to power. Will to power. To explain will to power, I will give you one example, right? No human action is free from will to power, right? Every human action, every human action is for is for is for acquiring power, is for acquiring power. How do you explain this? How do you explain this? Right? So, so eating, eating is a human action. Eating is a human action. Is a human action. It is a animalistic action, but still it is not free from will to power. How? By eating, you have you have generation of ATP, right? Generation of ATP helps you do things, right? Then that is why eating is for acquisition of power, helping you do things, helping you fight wars. Then you give example of walking. You give example of any human action, and all human actions for Nietzsche are not free from will to power. Everything you do, that is that is to get power, right? Will to power is more than will to live. Even in death, you will try to get more power. How? Right? This is a very paradoxical thing to say. Even in death, you try to get more power. How? Right? By leaving behind your legacy. By leaving behind your legacy. So there is that thing of power as well. That is, even in death, you try to get more power. That my name should be alive even when I am dead. So no human action is free from will to power. So even production of knowledge will be to get power. Even production of knowledge will be to get power, right? You would want such knowledge to be produced and reproduced, which will establish and sustain your power, right? So even production of knowledge is to get power, will to power, the first concept of Nietzsche. The second concept of Nietzsche is genealogy of morality. What is genealogy mean? This also means history of morality. What genealogy means? Genealogy is basically history. In genealogy is just a better way, it's just a academic way, it is just a sexier way to write history. Genealogy is nothing but history. Genealogy of morality, history of morality, origin of morality, right? Genealogy matlab origin, genealogy means history, all those things. Genealogy means history, origin, genealogy of morality. So what is the origin of morality? Morality, he says, genealogy of morals, genealogy of morality, knowledge or morality, he says, is not not static. It is constantly evolving, right? It is not static, it is constantly evolving. No knowledge is final. No knowledge is ultimate. No knowledge is God given, right? And right, genealogy of morality, no knowledge is static, it is constantly evolving, and no knowledge is final, ultimate, or god given. This means there is no origin of morality, but morality or morals has been evolving, uh, evolving as per the situation. There is no origin, but there is evolution according to situation, right? In hunter gatherer society, in a hunter gatherer society, killing a dog and eating that dog would be okay, right? So that society had that morality. But when we shifted to agriculture, killing a dog would not be seen in a good light. Understood? So there is no origin of morality, there is no history of morality, but morality has evolved according to the situation. Why do you think Buddhism, why do you think Jainism came? Buddhism and Jainism came, this morality came in Indian school of thought, in Indian thinking, because because there was a lot of animal sacrifices that was going on. When there is a lot of animal sacrifices, the animals which are needed for farming, animals which are needed for business, were not enough. They're, they were not enough. That is why Buddhism and Jainism came. So morality evolves around or according to the situation. That is why no knowledge is final, ultimate, or God given. Because because morality itself is a situation based. Morality itself is situation based. So there is no origin of morality, right? In the same breath, in the same breath, in the same thought, he says, he says, God is dead. In the same breath, he says that God is dead. There are two interpretations this of this statement that God is dead. The first statement is reason is dead, which was taken by fascist. For fascist, God is dead means reason is dead. The second interpretation is that it is criticism of morality. God is dead means it is criticism of morality, right? Why he criticizes morality, and he criticizes Christian morality in particular. What is Christian morality? Christian morality is of forgiveness. Christian morality is of turning the other cheek, and Christian morality is of Catholicism. Catholicism means, मतलब, means it is a Catholic faith, but it means otherworldly happiness, not this worldly happiness, right? This is what Christian morality is. God is dead. For interpreting God is dead, the first interpretation is that reason is dead, which was taken by fascist. The second interpretation is that it is criticism of morality and it is criticism of Christian morality, whereby he criticizes forgiveness, things like turning the other cheek, and Catholicism in Christian morality. Right? To explain this more, he says that such morality came into existence due to defeat of Christian world. Hence, they started justifying values like forgiveness and Catholicism. What does this mean? Right? In medieval Europe, what happened was there, मतलब, post 1600s, there were two ideas. First was Islam, second was Christianity. Islam and Christianity are both are uh, aggressive religions in the sense that they try to convert people to their religion, right? And for conversion, you need money, you need resources. For money and resources, there were crusades that happened in medieval Europe. What do crusades mean? Crusades mean holy war, right? Crusades for Christians and jihad for Muslims. Crusades. Crusades are holy wars whereby Christian nations and Islamic nations fought against each other in in Europe. In these fights, Islam was victorious. When Islam was victorious, Christianity started justifying such values such as forgiveness and Catholicism. Right? This is what God is dead means for Nietzsche. Right? He explains genealogy of morality in this way, whereby he says that morality is constantly evolving and no knowledge is final, ultimate, or God given. To explain this idea that morality is not static, morality is dynamic, he says that God is dead, whereby he says that morals of forgiveness, morals of turning the other cheeks, and morals of Catholicism came into Christian faith because they were defeated in crusades. Because they were defeated in crusades, values like morals like forgiveness and Catholicism came into Christian faith. Right? This is his concept of genealogy, of morality, and this is the concept of God is dead, whereby God is dead means first, God is dead means the inculcation of values such as forgiveness and Catholicism. The third concept which was given by Nietzsche and which is relevant to political science is concept of Superman. Concept of Superman, or in German Ubermensch. Superman or Ubermensch, right? Superman for Nietzsche was a person who freed himself from conventional morality. Someone who freed himself from conventional morality, right? For him, Superman was this person, right? Like, so let's assume the morality of Israel right now. Israel right now is that Gazans are bad people, right? Now there is this person A who thinks that Gazans are decent people, right? Then A will be Superman, right? There is Rama, there is Ravana, right? Rama fought Ravana. There were massive differences between them. But Rama was a Superman because he he went ahead. He went ahead this idea that Ravana was his enemy, but he broke that morality. He broke that thinking that Ravana was his enemy, and he gave Ravana a decent Antim Sanskar. Right? So the person who frees himself from conventional morality is a Superman. A person who frees himself from conventional societal thinking is a Superman. This is what Superman for Nietzsche mean. This was Nietzsche. I hope you understood Nietzsche. I'll start with Foucault, which I think is the most complex philosopher of the whole of political science. To understand Foucault, it is going to take a lot of time and effort from both of our sides. I hope you understood postmodernism till now. Postmodernism as an idea is very complex idea. I hope I will be able to explain this idea to you in more detail when we understand Foucault. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.